Hi there, my name is John Bozek. I'm here from Vicostone, currently out in the Merchandise Mart. We're having a big event today called Design Chicago, and we have a featured host from HDTV. Her name is Leslie Azell, and she was one of the winners of one of the major programs on the show. And we're here also showcasing some of our new colors that have just come out. They're really amazing colors. One of our colors is right here. This is called Diamante, and it's just phenomenal. The veining on the particular product is just spectacular, how realistic it looks. And then we have another version of it right here, same kind of pattern, just without the veining at a less price point. We do have seven new colors that came out, and this is one of our other ones called Thunder Gray. It's a really amazing color too. We're hoping it's going to be great for the public to like it, unique colors that it is. So we kind of pride ourselves, Vicostone prides itself on making really realistic colors and natural veining that kind of represents marbles and granites and quartzites, and we're kind of known for that in the industry as being some of the best of the industry that does that. We are here at Design Summit kind of showcasing all that. Here at the Merchandise Mart, we're actually in with the architectural crowd and with the interior designers from the local market, and so they use this as a design resource center for seeing the colors when they want to design for the projects. And we actually have a rep that's representative that hangs out here at the showroom here, and then he goes out on architectural calls for the public. So we kind of hit all the different markets out of our Elk Grove Village warehouse, and we have Leslie Azell here from Dallas. She's actually just got finished designing our showroom over in Dallas and redesigning it. It's really spectacular what she did. She used a lot of our new colors and made them just spectacular in the Dallas warehouse. So it's really good. Thank you for coming out to Design Chicago today, and hope you guys have a good time with all the demonstrations going on.
Okay, so I'm here in Chicago. I could not be more delighted to be here. I'm at the Design Center, and this show is amazing. I got to walk around yesterday and see what all is going on, and it's truly amazing, and I'm so excited to be a part of it. I'm also super excited to talk about my love for Vicostone, and I have to add, I'm also super excited to be away from my kids for the past 4 days. It's like a mini vacation for me. So it's been great, win-win, all the way around. So my love for Vicostone is basically, it started because of my background on HGTV. I did HGTV Design Star Season 6, and then I was also on Design Star All Stars, a show that I won, which is way more fun to win than it is to lose. I highly recommend it. And then I was also on a show called the White Box Challenge. And so it was my experience on that show that made me hone in on some things that we had to do in order to stay alive in the competition. So we had to be able to design in a very fast time period, create beautiful spaces, and to be able to do all this on a very, very tight budget. And then I also learned how to manage working with difficult personalities. Of course, Hung and An have been fantastic. They're the owners of Vicostone, and they could not be more delightful to work with, and we really worked as a team on this, redesigning their showroom. But it's not always like that. I kept getting saddled up with a gal who is very difficult to work with. I'm pretty sure her middle name was No. And so I had to figure out how to work around that. And it's actually helped me in my regular everyday life as well as my work life. So that's what I'm going to be talking about today, and talking about the way that we redid the showroom together.
Well, how did you hear about the presentation?
Oh gosh, I think I just saw it on the website.
On the website, just
Yeah.
looked attractive? Mm-hmm. Okay, great. Have you heard of Leslie before?
I have not.
Okay, so she is she's on reality TV, HGTV and stuff like that, so we're glad you showed up, and we hope you enjoy the presentation.
It's basically the descriptions of programs that drive us to where we want to sit.
Okay.
Didn't know that.
So are y'all having fun at this conference at Design Chicago?
Absolutely. Yeah, look
Yes.
forward
Okay.
to it every year.
Where y'all from?
Chicago.
Chicago? That's great.
Local.
Okay, great. Well, thank you for your time.
Where are you
ladies.
from?
I'm from Dallas.
Dallas. How do you
ma'am.
like Chicago?
It's big. It's very big, yeah.
Come on, Dallas.
Thanks so much, you guys. I'm so excited for you guys to be here today. I have to tell you, I'm freezing. I'm trying to warm up. I think as we go on, I'm going to warm up a little bit here. But I'm super, super excited to be in Chicago. I haven't been to Chicago before. It's just an amazing city, an amazing event. I'm really excited to be a part of this event. And I'm also super excited to talk about my love for Vicostone. And I'm super excited to have been away from my kids for 4 days. It's like a little mini vacation for me. So win-win and bliss all the way around. But the way that I came to work with Vicostone was actually through my history with HGTV Design Star. I was on Design Star Season 6, and then I was on Design Star All Stars, the show that I won. Way more fun to win than it is to lose. Highly recommend it. And then I was on a show called the White Box Challenge. How many people are actually familiar with Design Star? Oh, good. Okay, so for those of you that are not familiar with the way the show works, it's basically a competition. It's kind of like Chopped. So each week you're given a design challenge. If you succeed in the design challenge, you move forward in the contest. If you don't, then you're sent home back. And so Design Star Season 6, I fared out pretty well enough for them to invite me back to Design Star All Stars. And that one, of course, I won, which was, again, way more fun to win than it is to lose. So I learned some valuable lessons while I was on this show. And I've actually been able to translate those lessons into my everyday working life and my world, my personal world. And the lesson that I learned basically is we had to create beautiful spaces. That was the name of the game. And we had to do this in a very short amount of time period. And we had to do it on a very strict budget. So all of those things. And then also we had to master working with difficult personalities. On Design Star Season 6, not sure if you saw it or not, but I kept getting saddled with a gal that I'm pretty sure her middle name was No. It was extremely challenging to work with her, but I actually had to do that in order to succeed in the show. So I learned how to play nice with others. Now, I have to say, Hong and An, who are the owners of Vicostone, could not be kinder people. So sweet. I mean, it was easy to work with them. We worked as a team, and we came together to redesign their showroom, which is what I'm going to go through with you today, how we redesigned their showroom. So the way that I was first introduced to Vicostone was basically through my fabricator, which is, what fabricators do. They send you to stone yards, they send you to go look for granite. Most of my clients always think that they want granite, but truth is, they just want something super durable, super easy to take care of, actually no maintenance, and something that's beautiful. And basically what that product boils down to is the quartz that's made by Vicostone. So, like I said, as far as maintenance is concerned, granite, you have to at least seal it once a year. With this, there's no sealing, there's nothing that you have to do, the product is ready to go. So let me just kind of break it down what Vicostone has to offer and why I keep coming back through the doors to Vicostone. Primarily, they have over 90 color palettes. And I don't know about you, but for me, that is huge because, you have to pick out the cabinet colors, and then you have to pick out the wall colors, and you don't want to have your hands tied when it comes time for the stone. So Vicostone offering 90 different colors is mainly the reason that I keep coming back to this product. They offer it in 3 cm, 2 cm, and in 1.2 cm. The 1.2 cm I'm starting to use more and more in residential environments. It's also great, of course, for commercial environments for those wall installations. And then they have so many different finishes. They have the regular polished finish, which is what we're all used to. It's shiny, it's beautiful. Then they have honed, which is just a flat matte finish. And I'm starting to use that more and more in my commercial environment and my contemporary homes. It's such a beautiful look. But for those who are not sure that they want to go with honed or with shiny, they have an eggshell finish. So it's kind of balls in between those two types of finishes. And then the last one is called brushed. Now brushed is one that I really love for like an industrial environment. It's kind of like leather. It's a textured top. So I think that's a fantastic finish that not everyone is doing out there, but it's something that I've really enjoyed using. And then I have to say about the technology. Vicostone is manufactured with Breton technology, and basically what this boils down to is the Breton technology is the Lamborghini of Italy. I mean, it is the top of the line technology that is used out there, and that's why they're able to create such delicate lines and veins. And I really encourage you to come and look at the stone close up so that you can see the delicate work that is put into it, and that it goes down to the Breton technology. All right, so when did HGTV Design start? Super fun. Confetti everywhere. It was a delight. It was so much. It was really great for my company. Gave me a lot of exposure. Helped my Google search engine go up. Again, just kind of going over it. We had to create expensive looking spaces, but the key was we had to do it in a short time period with a very strict budget. And when I say short time period, we were having to do this like in 3 to 4 days. So clearly that is not how it is in real life, but I have been able to speed up my jobs by being on that show. And working with challenging personalities, like I said, Hung and On were fantastic, but I have learned some skills from having to work with the gal in season 6. For those of you who saw it, you know what I'm talking about. So basically, this was the challenge that almost kept me from auditioning for the show. So the White Box Challenge, for those of you who are not familiar with it, basically what they do is they give you a white box, they throw you a paintbrush and some $10, and then they put you in a store that has nothing to do with design. And that was so challenging. This one scared the heck out of me. In Design Star Season 6, they threw me into a kitchen supply company. We had to go to the kitchen supply company, find some items that we could come back and put it inside this space and like create magic. So that was a very terrifying challenge for me. And even during the show, I was terrified that, you know, I was not going to succeed or go past at that particular challenge. But thank goodness I did. I succeeded and got my white box done. They did a white box challenge on the Design Star All-Stars, which was way more fun. They threw us in the Pacific Design Center. And this time we had a little bit of a budget to play with. So it was way more fun to produce, like I produced a living room, and this is just one of the walls that was in my white box challenge. And then I really treated Vicostone like a white box challenge, because seriously, that's what it was. Vicostone was a white box. They had all their stone displayed. I'll show you. So this is just a picture of the way that the showroom was. Everything was white. The walls were white. The ceilings were white. Everything was, you know, all the stones were just placed on big, gigantic metal stands with straps strapping the stones in. There was nothing that showed it in its natural environment. So the goal, basically, was to create a space where all of the stone, my clients like vision. And so I really wanted to create a space where they can walk in and actually see the stone being used in an unusual way, besides just the kitchen and the bathroom. So we had the main entrance that we had to deal with, and that was right as you walk in the door, and I wanted you to know that you were at Vicostone. And then we created a living room space. A living room space is not a place that you would normally think of using stone, so I really wanted to kind of challenge myself and challenge the process of being able to use the stone in the living room space. And then the front desk area, which was directly across from the main entrance. And then, of course, the kitchen vignette and the bathroom vignette. Those are no-brainers. We had to show the stuff in that environment. And then we had a commercial bathroom that we had to make sure that we gave some love to the commercial bathroom, because let me tell you something, it was really, really, really beat up and needed some attention too. So we paid attention to that as well. The picture on the bottom right is actually a picture of what we turned into the living room. This is a bar that was set up in this area. These mini blinds, I'm pretty sure, have been here since the 80s. They were all beat up and they needed a facelift. So this is the area that we changed into a living room space. So moving forward, so the main entrance, as soon as you walked into the space, there was nothing but, like I said, white walls. You had no idea where you were. It needed some branding. It needed some attention. It needed to say Vicostone. So this desk was very strange. It was almost like it ran out of material because it did not go the length of the wall. It went and it stopped about 6 feet before the end of the wall. And my first instinct was to just basically, let me just tear it down and build a nice, big, beautiful, grand desk area for this backdrop. But instead, to save on budget, we basically cut off the end of the bar and had our fabricator, we had a fantastic fabricator, make a seamless seam to extend the bar all the way across the rest of the wall. So now the Vicostone sign was centered on the wall. And the thing that I really wanted to showcase here is the borghini. That's not very common that you can find book matched in quartz. And I really love the fact that we were able to showcase the fact that they carry a book matched stone. So that was the highlight of this wall. And then we had some stone available, some space available on either side. So we went with a different stone, just so that we could display yet another type of stone. And then we went with a different stone for the frame. So for the frame, we put a piece of wood behind there and strip lighting so that it would kind of shine out from behind the whole display area. So it kind of gave it a glowing feel. And then the countertop is actually a different kind of stone, and then the front is also a different kind of stone. So we are able to display 5 different stones in this area. So it was a really good way for clients to come in and actually see what it looks like in its own environment. And then the light fixture. This was an area that I really feel like was worth spending the extra time and money for. This is actually all glass, and love those Italians, but it takes a long time to get the products. It was worth the wait because I really wanted a light that would shine down on Vicostone and really highlight the Vicostone signage in the proper light and give the stone itself the right lighting, because this was all fluorescence up at the top. And so we really did need to put something that was kind of like the wow factor of this particular space. All of this is made of glass, and it's also kind of honed, so it looks like the stone that Vicostone actually carries. And then it shined the beautiful light down to recognize the Vicostone signage. And for the Vicostone signage, we just basically went with just a brushed metal Vicostone sign that was lifted up away from the wall. So now when you walk in, you know you're at Vicostone, you know where you are, you know about the product that you're about to look at. But this is the living room space. So in the living room space, I wanted to showcase this bar at the end. What's really cool is it comes in 1.2 cm, and it actually lets you glow and backlight this particular stone. So it's called Onyxa, and it's perfect for like that restaurant that you've got, and you want to have the showcase bar that lights up. This is a perfect product to use. They were the first ones in the industry to come up with this particular product in quartz. So the roller shades, this was obviously mini blinds before, and like I said, I think they've been there since the 80s. They had to be replaced. The roller shades is basically what I use in all my contemporary environments and my commercial environments. It just basically gives a great backdrop, and the light that comes through is just a really nice glowing feel, so that the stone can be seen in a better light. And then, of course, the matching sofas. All right, so these matching sofas, I went with the microfiber suede mainly because it's so easy to clean. I have 6 kids, believe it or not, and how I survived that, I don't know. I'm, half crazy half the time. But one of the things that I have in my house is microfiber suede. Microfiber suede, and it's all in white. And I've been able to get out blood stains. I've been able to get out red wine stains. So I really do believe in using the microfiber suede. So what we did was we actually made these 2 sofas identical, and we made them where you have to sit up nice and tall and straight so that you can actually use the coffee table to look at the stone. The coffee table, I will say, most of my clients seem to have coffee tables that are the size of a stamp. So I really wanted to not have my hands tied and to be able to show how you can actually use quartz and create your own coffee table. So this was an extra long space, so we created this extra long coffee table that kind of balances out the 2 sofas nicely. and then the wall insulation. If this was in my home, if this was in a living room at home, I would have it going up the entire wall so that it's like a piece of artwork behind the sofa. But for the purposes of selling and moving stone, this is actually in a frame, and you can take out this white fusion and replace it with another stone. So if you're working in this type of environment and you're trying to move stone, it's a great way to show the flavor of the month as they get new product in. They're able to just simply take that out with lots of manpower, and then put in the new flavor of the month. The light fixture, again, I really wanted to pick something that kind of tied the area together, and so we went with, I love the white globes that kind of accented the white fusion, and it has bronze and the gold details, which I think kind of tied the whole area together. And it's something that you would actually use in a living room space. Moving right along. Okay, the front desk area. This area was directly across from the main entrance. We first of all, one of the things that we did was we painted all of the walls. Each of the vignettes got their own color, and we also painted the ceilings, which was really, really important for this space because the ceilings were fluorescents, and the fluorescents, nobody looks good in fluorescent light. I'm not sure why we even have them, except for maybe in hospitals. But I wanted to tone down those fluorescent lighting, so we painted it in urban bronze, and then all of the doors were old, kind of dated doors that were made of wood. So we primed those, and we painted all of those the same as the urban bronze that was above the, in the showroom on the ceiling color. So it really kind of made a contemporary look of tying all of that together. The other thing I wanted to show you is the chipped edge on this particular stone. This is graphite, and it's got a shiny finish to it, but it also looks really cool if you use that brush finish to create your own piece of furniture. Stepping back to look at this piece of furniture, basically what this was a piece of furniture that had a wood top. I had talked to an iron man about possibly making an iron base, and that was going to cost a fortune. So I found this piece of furniture that had a wooden top, and we just simply took it off and put the chipped edge stone on top of it to create a nice piece of furniture that would be something that you would use in your living room. And this little vase right here, I mean, I'm not sure about you guys, but for me, I love going to vintage stores. So this piece was actually kind of a weird green color, and I just got a can of spray paint and spray painted it to kind of give an updated look to the vase, and now I use it for styling in all of my design work. So the kitchen. The kitchen was, of course, the area that you think of when you're thinking of using quartz. It's the obvious place that you have to have some sort of stone countertops. Again, the quartz is so easy to work with that it's really my go-to product. And if this was in a regular kitchen, these two bars obviously would be the same material. But again, for the purposes of selling and moving stone, we went with two different types of stone for each of the bars. And I have to say, that was actually Hong's idea, because I really wanted to create a kitchen that was all the same. I wanted it all to be, all of the stone to match and make sense like it would in a regular kitchen. But Hong had it in her mind that we should do different stone for the extra bar, and we did, and that was like one of the best decisions that we made. It's actually helped with that stone and moving that stone. We painted the walls just a nice rich Cabernet to kind of go with the wood that we use kind of an ash gray brown color on. And then the main thing that we did was give them storage. So we loaded it up with uppers and lowers, and these two bars have on both sides drawers for all the stone samples. So they really, really, really needed storage, and we were able to provide that by providing this kitchen for them. So we went with something similar to each other for the bar, but we did want to showcase a different stone. So Mysterio is what's used as a backsplash, and then Arabiscato is what is used for the floating bar, which I really do love, and that one you should go and take a look at. We did the wood in order to save a little bit on cost. Instead of going with like a cherry or mahogany, we actually went with a white oak, but we did it in a rift cut so that it all lines up perfectly, and it gives a very contemporary look. And then we basically relied on the stainer to produce this, make the wood look like it's $1,000,000. And the other cool thing about this is a full functioning kitchen. There's wine in the wine refrigerator, there's beer in the other fridge. You're ready for a party at any time and ready to have an open house or their Christmas party here. So that, I think, was a really smart thing to do. The sink actually functions as well. The lighting, you can't really tell on this side of the bar, but what we did was we put 3 different types of lighting underneath the cabinets. There's so many different shades and types of light that you can install for your under-counter lighting that we wanted to be able to show people that you can take a piece of stone and look at it under 2,200 or 2,700 or 3,000. And now in my contemporaries, I'm actually starting to use 4,000 and even 5,000, which is even brighter. But this has actually turned out to be a really great selling tool for them so that you can see the stone, how it will look in your natural environment, how it will look in your home. And this is a picture of the lighting itself. It's also honed, it's glass, and they fit together like puzzle pieces. You can actually add on to this. We were able to go with just 3 for the size of our bar, but you can add on and make this all the way to 5 different little pieces of beautiful puzzle that really kind of tie the whole space together. So here's a close-up look of the granite. And again, this increased their sales by putting this out on the floor. It was not my favorite, and it was not something that I came around easily to, but the client is always right, and so therefore I went with the flow. And we put this on the bar, and it turned out beautiful. The 2 cm, I'm starting to see that a lot more in contemporary environments, that thinner edge, so we wanted to showcase that. And then of course the edge, making sure that the waterfall degree is a 45-degree angle, that it comes together that way. That's basically how it needs to be installed. I've seen it in showrooms where they just stacked it, and it's really not a good look, so you want to make sure you get that 45-degree angle in there. And then this is a close-up look of the Arabescato. The Arabescato, to me, it looks like, this comes back to that Breton technology. This looks like hand-painted stone. The details in the veins, and then carrying the veins over the edge of the waterfall, I think was a really nice touch. But the Arabescato is a stone that, like I said, I really wanted to use in the whole entire kitchen area because it's so beautiful. And so for the bathroom vignette, the bathroom, we decided to use the same type of wood. We used the white oak, but this time we did it in a horizontal manner. And I'm starting to do this a lot more in my contemporary kitchens, going in a horizontal direction. And then again, we made the stain. This was a custom-made stain. It's kind of like a gray driftwood color, and made sure that all of the veins lined up with each other. And then the sinks, I wanted to make them look as much like stone as possible. So they're actually honed and a flat surface, so they kind of look like it's stone themselves. And I wanted to have that on top of this gorgeous Pietra gray stone that also, I love the fact that we were able to carry the lines over the edge from this particular quartz. The bathroom itself, I wanted to make it even more contemporary, so what we did was we did a horizontal mirror that goes completely across the whole entire bar area. The horizontal mirror, of course, is high enough so that you can still see yourself if you're 6'7", or you can still see yourself if you're 4 feet tall. But it does give it a more contemporary look. We did the stone below, and then we cut out where the mirror goes, and then above, we did the stone above, and then we mounted the lights on the light fixtures on top of the stone. If this again was in the home, this would go all the way to the ceiling. So of course these ceilings are 20 feet tall, so needless to say we did not go all the way up on these. And then we used another gray for the shower area. We really wanted to showcase, again, as much stone as we possibly could. So this was yet another type of color of stone that we're able to use in the shower. And you don't have to use tile for the shower. Using quartz for the shower is just such a good, clean look that I think it really does make the space look even more contemporary. And then the little table that you see here is cosmic black. It was the stone that I showed you earlier, the details of that, so it really does read like it's a granite. And then moving on to the tub area. So I wanted to use this stone as a backdrop, and again, this would go all the way to the ceiling. The tub, the stone itself would go all the way up to the ceiling. I kept the tub the same as the sinks, which was a home finish, and made sure to tie those in together. And then we went with a light fixture that would shine nicely on the backdrop of the beautiful picture gray. And then as far as the commercial bathroom is concerned, this space was really, really narrow. This was a very narrow area, so what we did is we put a vertical mirror that was much taller than what was there before. They had just a little bitty tiny mirror. So it made this space, of course, open up. And then to add a different texture and also to save on cost, we went with tile that looks like one of the pieces of quartz that Vicostone makes. And this, again, like it saved on cost. And then this gray vanity is Smoky, is the name of that particular stone. And then here's just an up-close picture of the sink that we created. So we made this sink, and if you're making one of these sinks, which is a really cool contemporary look, you want to make sure that the back is pitched, because the water will settle over here in this area because it's completely flat at the bottom. But it looks like it's flat, but the truth is it's actually pitched. And then as far as the bathroom walls are concerned, these stalls, I wanted to rip out all of the stalls. That was my first instinct. They were so beat up and so chipped and so discolored and so worn hard. I really did want to take them all out and replace them. But instead, I talked to my painter. He said he could paint them and make them look like $1 million. So what we did was we got a metallic paint, a great primer, and a great painter, and painted them, and it turned out fantastic. It really ties in nicely with the sink, with the vanity that the sink is on. All right, so how to do all this in a short time frame? Of course, planning is everything. Getting a game plan and having a direct, knowing exactly when things are coming in, what time they're coming in, purchasing all of your supplies in advance. Of course, it makes perfect sense to do that. Make sure when you're purchasing, like I've had this happen to me before, where I purchased the shower, but I didn't realize that there was another part to the shower that's internal that I had to have in order for the shower to actually work. So that made the project delayed. So you want to make sure that you open up the boxes, that you have everything that you need before you start tearing out and ripping out or painting. And then get a jump on the cabinetry. Oh my gosh, the cabinetry takes so long to make. Anywhere from 6 to 8 weeks to sometimes 10 weeks. So you really want to get the approval from the client at the get-go on those cabinets so that you have those in as early as possible. And then working within a budget. I really believe in spending the money where it counts. So showcasing the product with lighting was super important for this particular project. It was all about the stone. So in order for the stone to look beautiful, it had to be in the right light because everybody deserves good lighting. And so we really did go ahead and spend some money on the areas that I feel like were the wow factors of the space. And then save money where you can. Like for instance, painting the old surfaces, painting the stalls, and then using the tile, which was less expensive than actually using the stone and just giving it a different texture. So we saved money in that way. And then of course the wood, we saved some money on using the white oak wood and just relied on the stain from our stainer in order to create that really contemporary, cool look. And then mastering working with challenging personalities. Like I said, I did not have to do this with Home and On. They were fantastic. But it is not always that way. And I have to remind myself daily that the client is always right. We know this phrase, but sometimes we forget it. And so if you do, just go with the flow and remind yourself the client is always right. And basically, I say be submissive yet persistent. So I think you can call that passive aggressive. I call it being submissive yet persistent about whatever your ideas are. You be submissive and you listen to the client as to what they're suggesting, but then you're persistent as far as like reintroducing your game plan and what you would like to implement into the space. And then say yes and add on, the rules of improv. So about 200 years ago, I was in theater and I had to take an improv class. And one of the things that really stuck with me, that's helped me in my life, is basically to say yes. The scene, in an improv scene, if you say the word no, the scene falls flat. It's totally over. There's no place to go. The other person's not listening. It's completely done. So I've added this into my regular everyday life. It helps with your marriage. It helps with your kids. It's basically you listen to whatever it is they're saying, honestly listen to what they're saying, and say yes, and then add on whatever your thoughts are. So yes, and I'm just thinking maybe we could do this, and put whatever it is, spin it. It may be totally opposite of what they just said, but you're saying yes and adding on in order to make them feel more comfortable with your decisions and to help you with your design process. So that one I think is really a great one, and it's a great one for life. Okay, so just the highlights of the areas that I really was fond of. I loved the way that the kitchen and the bathroom really spoke to each other, and the rib cut that we used in a vertical manner as well as a horizontal manner. But of course, the showcase here is this Pietra gray stone that we made the very thick edge, which I think really showcases the different edges that you can use in your regular day life. Because we used the 2cm in the kitchen, I really wanted to go with something very thick in the bathroom. So, and then we of course have the different stones displayed in the kitchen area, which ended up being a huge, huge plus for Vicostone. So that is basically all I have for you today. I want to thank you so much for coming here and spending your time with me. I also want to thank Hung and An. Thank you so much for letting me be a part of this event. Hats off to Vicostone. Thanks so much. I appreciate you being here.
I'm Justin Dunwoody with Vicostone. My title is Commercial Sales Manager with Architects and Interior Designers, located here in the Merchandise Mart. It's excellent location, get a lot of traffic through here. As you can see, it's very pristine, and I love that we represent it here in the Merchandise Mart and Vicostone. I've had a great time and looking forward to the rest of today and the gala tonight as well.